Hi, I'm Kathy Guy with Granger Community Church. I'm the Director of Community, and we are going to talk about our thoughts, okay? And the power of our thoughts and what happens in all of our patterns of behavior. In other words, why do we do what we do? That's what this is about. People go, well, I know I'm smarter than this. I don't know why I keep making the same mistake over and over. What is going on? Well, what happens there is that you look at the feelings that are happening right before that behavior. And if there's feelings, then you look at what are the thoughts that are going on. Because the proper order is what happens is that our thoughts control our feelings, and our feelings control our behavior. It's why the Bible talks about take captive every thought, because thoughts are at the beginning of it. And it starts the process that goes down the path to really behaviors that cause us all kinds of problems. Feelings, on the other hand, you know what? Feelings are God-given. And lots of people do things and they'll say, I felt so angry. I felt like that person loved me. And all of that type of stuff, hey, you have to acknowledge those feelings. You just don't have to act on them. And it's when you start acknowledging the feelings, you can work back to the thoughts and find out what's going on. So let's talk a little bit about how this works. What can happen is that our thoughts start at a very early age. When we are the youngest of children, do you guys, if you've got kids or ever seen kids, when a toddler starts walking across the room, they're, just like they're kind of got that blank stare and they're not sure if they're going to fall over or not. But the adults are like, oh, he's walking, we're so excited. And that child immediately is like, what? And they're like, are you kidding me? You're gonna, startle me so I fall over. The child looks, because they have no clue what's going on. And the child only can make sense of the world. Like, why are you doing things? It means it's something about me. So the child looks here and they make this conclusion that says, wow, I really have the power to make people extremely happy. And my value and worth comes whenever they smile and cheer for me. My value and worth, it's tied to my performance, is what that sounds like as an adult. Now, the problem with that belief system that child started with, it was distorted at the very beginning. Because the truth is that if our child didn't walk and maybe they had a developmental delay, that child would not have any less worth and value to us. That's a distortion. We love the child because we love them. Their worth and value is because they matter to us, they matter to God. But the child believes a false belief, a lie that says my value and worth is tied to my performance. Another way this works is that the very first time the child starts pulling up on things and they reach a hot stove, they go to grab a sharp knife, put their hand in a stove, on a candle or anything that's going to put them in danger. Typically, in our house, I screamed. So I'd be like, no, what are you doing? You're going to hurt yourself. And my poor children, I damaged them for their whole life. Their little lip quivered and they were terrified as they started crying. Now, their little conclusion is, wow, I have no clue what I just did there. I was just exploring the world. But their conclusion says, I really have the power to upset you. I make you angry. And over time, with lots of chaos and screaming, that child starts concluding, there is just something wrong with me. I have no value. Distortion. The truth is, I love you so much, you little booger, I'm trying to protect you from danger, right? That's what's really going on. So what happens at our very earliest moments, we have these thoughts, these conclusions, but they're distorted. But what happens as we grow up into adults, we keep building upon those, and we try to look for evidence that says they're true. As a child, it's like, this is truth. Something else happened. It goes, yep, I knew that was true about me. And that's so for my own story. Yep, I was a perfectionist, straight A student. The more I was a good girl, the more affirmation and love I got, which just affirmed that, oh, my value and worth is all based on my performance. Hey, this is not about trying to blame your mom and dad. This is not about years and years of psychotherapy that you're going to need. The reality is, I'll bet I've imposed some beliefs on my own children. When my dad used to say, hey, way to go, and made a huge deal out of the straight A's that I got, he really wasn't trying to harm me. It's just kind of human behavior that this is how it goes from generation to generation. The point is are we going to be the ones to break the cycle? What are we going to do in response to it? How will we recognize it? Well, we have to start telling the difference between, are our thoughts, is it fiction or fact? What's really going on? Is this the truth or a lie? The way I have often tried to explain it to people of what can happen over years is that, let's just say that you were walking in a dangerous neighborhood at 11 o'clock at night, okay? Dangerous neighborhood, 11 o'clock at night, and they just happen to be in the news really frequently for shootings and crimes, okay? And you get this immediate feeling of fear. Well, let's check that out against a thought. Am I in danger? The answer is yes. I am in danger. I feel fear. Act on it. Run. Get out of there. That's wise. But let's say that I'm walking through a nice suburban neighborhood, very low crime rate, 11 o'clock at night, and I get overwhelmed with this feeling of fear. And I go, oh my gosh, I'm sure I am going to get attacked out here because that random car just went by and maybe they were trying to, watch me and see when the best time was for an attack. No, check out those feelings against facts. The reality is, am I in danger? And what can happen is if you know you're not in danger, but you have a feeling of fear, but there's no facts to support it, here's where the problem comes. If you run home anyway, you've just reinforced that feeling and said, it's actually true that I'm in danger. So if night after night, you always keep acting on a feeling that there's no facts to support it, you are feeding that feeling and it will get stronger. Happens very often in cases of insecurity and jealousy that say, I'm not good enough. I know they don't like me. I feel alone. And when you start allowing that feeling to take root and start acting on it as if it's true, when you have no facts to support it, then you'll start, sometimes people develop that change in their social skills. They'll withdraw. They'll protect themselves because they think they're in danger, that someone out here is going to harm them by hurting their feelings, by excluding them from social situations. And there's no facts to support it. So how you break this cycle in your thoughts is you have to start recognizing what are the truths, what are the thoughts that are going on in my head? Are they based on fact? Based on fiction? Where'd they start from? There's all kinds of things that can happen that cause different distortions along the way. But the most important thing is where you're going to interrupt them and tell yourself the truth. Because here's what we know. Lies produce lies. Truth produces truth. And we know that the lies love to stay in darkness. That's where evil happens. That's where toxins happen. That's where marriages are destroyed. Teens and parents fall apart. Relationships are broken in lies and darkness. But when you bring things out into the light and you look at the truth about who you are, why you matter, how you want to love well, and start bringing things into the truth, truth produces truth. That's where love grows. That's where Jesus lives. Jesus is truth. You've heard this comment in the Bible. It's sometimes been thrown around so much we take it for granted. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And, we minimize that sometimes of how important it is to know that the truth is you matter to God, you're loved, and your life makes a difference. Your life has significance. So find your way to the truth, clear up those distortions, and start taking control of your thoughts.